Change has come. It's at the door. Everything that was true isn't true anymore. In our hands is a broken crown, and the wars that we lose mean freedom now. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Let's dance into battle, start a revolution, turn the heartbreak into evolution. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, from the ashes. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Keep marching on. 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 Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again.
The plan for living life, playing the game of life. Rules to the game of life. You will receive a body. You will learn lessons. There are no mistakes, only lessons. A lesson will be repeated until it is learned. Learning lessons does not end. There is no better than here. Others are merely mirrors of you. What you make of your life is up to you. Life is exactly what you think it is. Your answers lie inside you. You will forget all of this. You can remember it whenever you want. Mastering ourselves, being our best selves. My power, my control. Mind, body, soul, which is thoughts, wills, the things you say, and emotions. Principles: learn, grow, teach, help. Foundation: love, health, wealth, happiness. Rules: respectful, safe, responsible. Being a champion, one day at a time. Having accountability, accept responsibility for actions and performance. Culture, living our values, mastering ourselves, body, mind, soul. Excellence, being our best selves by efficiency and productivity. Leveling up in life, showing up for yourself, focus on yourself, core values, decisions, goals, and behavior. Live by, no excuses, take ownership, empower yourself to do better and be more for you. Many are here to help us be the best version of ourselves through learning and development. 2, I'm willing to do the work and you are willing to do the work. The first step to empowering you is creating a structure that helps you eliminate excuses through clarity of responsibility and process. Being a champion to create winning is by having a desire to be the best version of yourself and empowering you to do so daily. Having a better world that is a champion world is that it takes all of us. Everything is energy, vibration, and frequency, which is inside of us all and all around us. What is your energy? Low vibration or high vibration? Low vibration. Empathy, victim, helplessness, blame, negative self-talk, worry, hatred, anger, fear. High vibration. Hopefulness, courage, acceptance, happiness, self-love, gratitude, positive self-talk, trust, knowledge, abundance, forgiveness, unconditional love. Mastering ourselves. Lust, intense desire or craving, greed, excessive selfish desire. Gluttony, excessive consumption. Pride, excessive self-importance. Sloth, laziness, empathy. Envy, desiring what someone else has. Wrath, extreme anger. The unseen laws, spiritual laws you must respect. Core unseen laws. Law of reciprocity, which what you send out, energy, thoughts, actions, returns amplified. Law of authority. Spirits only respect those who know who they are. If you're confused, they dominate. Law of resonance. You attract what matches your vibration. Purity equals clear outcomes. Law of timing. Some doors open only in divine timing. Forcing it equals punishment or delay. Law of spiritual debt. Every lie, scam, or shortcut leaves a karmic invoice until it's paid by pain or repentance. It blocks flow. Law of access. Sharing sacred things with unworthy people gives dark forces access to you. Guard your spiritual intimacy. Law of sacred exchange. Don't ask for something from spirit world without giving something. Prayers, food, fire, service, truth. Law of hidden eyes. Even when no one is watching, you are seen. All thoughts and deeds echo in the spirit realms. Everyone will get exactly what they choose. 3D earth. Fear, division, anger, control, hate, AI. 5D earth. Love, unity, peace, freedom, healing, consciousness. This is the Great Awakening. Welcome, I'm Alisha Quinn, and today we are going to be talking about riding out the storm, power of thoughts and words. And I am here to free myself from bondages. I freed myself from many bondages, free myself of identities, and truly coming to that Christ consciousness, to living in peace, living in unity, and that unity is part of body, mind, and spirit, soul. And, really finding that true inner happiness within myself and fulfillment. And it's been quite a road and quite a journey to get here. And, I still have stuff, but truly coming to letting go, letting it go, and releasing those bondages that we even put under ourselves. So, it's been a very interesting journey and awakening here these last few years, that really coming to this point of being aware of the power of our thoughts, the power of our thoughts towards others as well. When we wish negative things upon them, the power of our words, when we curse somebody. And I mean, in a way of, it's very interesting because parents will do it to their own children. Stuff like, I hope your children are worse than you, you know? And it is a vicious cycle. It's a vicious thing that we do not understand and understand the power of our words and our thoughts. And I had to come to learn it for myself, right? And so I didn't know any better either. It makes a lot of sense, that verse that says, forgive them for they know not what they do. And it's truly the truth, that sometimes we just don't even know what we're truly doing when we are, you know, continuously, talking about our drama, our BS stuff, right? And then you have something that shows up again, and then you got another round of BS to talk about, and even dealing with, people who watch, television shows. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I mean, people love the drama. They love keeping up with the drama, like the Kardashians or whatever, and and so we just, people just thrive in it, and we truly don't even know any better. We don't know any difference, when you're born into it and you don't have, parents that become aware, how are you supposed to know, You got to seek for those answers, right? And I even seen it within religion in the church, and stuff, the drama and the complaining and, being judgmental towards each other and, these kinds of things. It's just drama, really. But anyhow, so the power of our thoughts and our words. And as I, came through awakening and truly coming more aware of things, and that I had this power within me, that, I had the power to speak, what I wanted into my reality, right? And I start working on this stuff, right? And I will say that everything that I went through with leaving Washington State and losing everything, including my children, that it was a journey that I had to go on. It was coming to that storm because I was letting stuff go. And when you let stuff go, that crap that you've had, this web, you end up building this web with all your words and your thoughts that's going on. You're trying to find your way out, kind of thing, pretty much. And I had a storm that I had to ride out. And that's truly what it comes down to. Of all the crap, all the words and all the thoughts, and even becoming aware of other people's words and their thoughts towards me. Now, it was very interesting because, I did have that little paranoid little message I had when I left Washington State, right? Which serves its purpose. And, which is that people love the drama, that's really what it comes down to. So, more people were interested in that than my message I had done days before about creating peace and unity. That said something. So, but, again, they just don't know what they're doing, right? So, I came to really be shown the power of other people's words towards me as well. That's called spiritual attacks. When you're talking crap, projecting crap on other people, that's spiritual warfare. Those thoughts and those words have power behind them. And not only towards the person that you're talking about, but also yourself. And so I really came to realize that I can't control anyone else, though, but I sure the hell can get them out of my life, especially when I'm shown that they're talking crap behind my back. Oh, she's crazy. She's going to be in the mental hospital for months. Yep. Okay. So, anyhow, I came through where I was shown also that I can protect myself with the power of my words as well. And it's very interesting as I will say things to myself, whatever it might be. And then all of a sudden, I'll end up in this experience to show me that what I have been saying, to protect myself or whatever, is actually taking effect. Cause and effect. Cause and effect with your words and your thoughts. But, I really had this little shitstorm to go through, losing everything, right? But again, I knew that it was part of my plan and part of my purpose, and it truly was. I gained a lot, from the experience. And, coming through to learning about like the generational curses, right? That's, because we're not doing our inner work. We're not working on our inner selves. Our inner world and our thoughts and our words, our emotions come out here. It comes out here. It plays out here. The outside world is nothing more but our shadows. What's in here will come out here. As above, so below. So, anyhow, I came through to seeing the generational curse upon our family with, the children being separated from their mothers It was just a generational curse thing that I had to go through. I had to become aware of it. I wasn't really aware of generational curses, really, right? And which, my kids kind of get double whammy because their father also was separated from his mother. And so as I, go through this separation and my kids are in DSS custody and things, and I made peace and things, and I'm working on my mind and my thinking and stuff, I got child support orders. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to just, go with the flow with this and I'm going to project the best things, that it's just going to be, bare minimum, blah, 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 right? And so I got into my own place and stuff. And that was a huge blessing for me to get in my own place before I had this court date. And so I went in there for the child support and I had my one regular job, plus I was doing DoorDash to make things work for me. And so again, I get hit with this honesty thing, right? What am I going to do? So I was like, you got to be honest. So I brought in all my papers for my income. And the woman, she was like looking at these papers for DoorDash and stuff. And she's like, well, I'm not going to include this. That's a big fat blessing right there. But, it came about that it put the crunch on me pretty good. It was a good amount. And I said, I'll do what I have to do, you know? I do what I have to do. So it was very interesting. And the thing is about that is that I had two children, two children, both in state custody, two of them, but I only received child support orders for one of those children. Only one. And so I asked the question. I have become more connected with the divine spirit and stuff. And I'm like, God, why is it like this? Why is it that it's just for one of them and stuff, right? And that's when spirit put it on me that it was the last thing from Robert Quinn, my former husband, who died 2 years before this in 2023. So this was last year in 2025 that this took place. I left him over there the last year of his life, abandoned, and all he could do was project all that BS. And that shit manifests somehow in some way. Now, I'm not going to place all blame on him for everything that I have gone through on this journey, but that, and I know some of the other people with their judgmental stuff and their spiritual energy projected towards me plays out. So, I had to ride out the storm of my life. And it truly does make me very cautious of who I allow in my life and around me. In fact, I've learned to go through a process and I don't care who they are. That's the truth, you know? But ultimately, I have really come to a higher vibration as well to truly energetically protect myself from those things as well. So, they could go ahead and, say whatever they want and project whatever they want because, you do have the power for you to be in an energetic shield where it goes back on them ultimately, you know? That kind of like whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. But energetically, we do have that power. We do have that power to protect ourselves from such things. And so it's a big learning lesson for sure, to learn about this the energy of our thoughts, the energy of our words, truly. And all I can do is, renew my mind and change me and work on my energy and keep people like that out. You know, when you're sitting there talking shit about someone else, what do you think that person is doing to you behind your back? And that includes your spouse. And that's the truth of it. And I did it too. I did it too, you know. I was talking crap too. So, so it's just like this web that we weave, with spirit, with the divine, because every thought and every word, you know, when you say stuff like, I don't have enough, or this or that, guess what you get? Our words and our thoughts are so very powerful that we truly do need to come to a point to really understand that and our emotions as well. That sometimes, feeling sorry for what someone went through, but, part of it is truly their own doing, you know? And even with my life and my own experiences and things like that, that it was truly my own doing as well. The distractions, the complaining, and on and on. And I had to come to learn, I came to learn it. And it's, part of my purpose to put myself out here to not, have people feel sorry for me, but to help and teach people, whoever it may be, that wow, maybe I need to think about the things I'm thinking about myself or other people, you know? We really I really am finding that because of our words and our thoughts that we put so many limitations upon ourselves with things. And, all I can do is just be that person to show whoever it is that I'm meant to show that you can change your thinking and change your thoughts and go down a whole different road and let go of those energies, those feelings that you have as well, that sometimes we have things placed upon us to cause us to have, like guilt or shame, right? When if you just take it as, learning from it and experiencing it, it may be a whole different story than, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or, this is bad for me, but I can't help myself, or whatever it may be, you know, um, because truly, from everything that I've, come to find, we are the placebo. Whatever we think in, you know, our thoughts, our words are so powerful, and we're the ones who do end up putting limitations and bondages on ourselves, but also others. We truly do. We truly do put those bondages on others, which is really something to come to learn about. And it's really that ego mind. The ego mind will, project like the worst case scenarios of things. And and that's the thing that we have to get in check is that ego mind. We have to become aware of it first, we have to become aware. And I will tell you this, as I've gone through this journey and I'm like, okay, I come to see and find that I'm having negative thoughts and feelings about one thing, right? I'm like, okay, I got this to work on, and I'm working on this thing and I'm like, I'm doing really great here, right? I'm like, this is it, and then it's like, you're presented with the next thing that you didn't even truly realize or was aware that you were having negative thoughts and feelings about this next thing. And so it is just quite a journey to be, self-aware and, just keep going and keep breaking free from those bondages and limitations that have been placed upon us, by ourselves and by others. And that's the truth. And be careful, be aware who you have in your life, really, I mean, we were sleeping next to the enemy and truly didn't even know it, he's sitting there thinking, why won't she do this? And she did this and that. And, and then she's there being like, he can't even put his clothes in the laundry basket all the time. And, all this crap, and, we need to come to a point to really work together and be self-aware, and stop putting these limitations upon each other, communicating properly so that we can actually work together to live together if we want to live together, or just be alone. And that's, truly what it comes down to. And so, but, I learned some big fat lessons about it. And I have to just work on me. There's no one else that's going to save me from my own thoughts and the things I'm saying or even how I feel. It's me. I'm the one who has to deal with it. And so, and truly being aware and rising my frequency up to where like I can see it, you know? And so I know the people to stay away from. And that's the truth, you know? And sometimes you might be able to give them a little bit of a message, you know? Oh, I learned this, you know, da da. Right? And just say it in a way that they're like, oh, okay, you know? And be that messenger, you know? But truly, it is my path, it is my journey, and I do totally know and understand that it was something that I chose to come here to do. I chose this. I chose to alchemize those energies, you know, and turn it into something something better for myself on this journey. And so it's only going to get better from here. I can tell you that because, you know, when you renew your mind, you change that frequency, you change those neurotransmitters, it's never going to be the same, ever, ever. So we're going to go ahead and look at a couple of pictures. If you realized how powerful your self-thoughts are, you would never think a negative one again. The person I used to be can never come back because I won't let her. She was naive. She let her emotions dictate her life. She was explosive and reckless. She did the best she could, though, and I'll forever respect her for that. But this new person that I have become came at a price that there is no refunds for. Unimaginable loss, tragedy, pain. The lessons that I had to learn burned the old me alive with no guidance and or survival guide. The only thing that was left to do was transform. It feels like a whole lifetime has passed, a whole different time and place. But if you look deep enough into my eyes, you can still see her weeping face. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. Well, I thought those were very, very, very fitting that, you know, she can never come back. She can never come back. The negative thinking, the negative stuff, she can't ever come back, ever. And I won't let her. I won't let her. I went through too much. And, you know, coming to really, you know, protect myself from people who are in those mind frames as well. You have to. And so, you know, because it runs havoc in your life if you don't. Only two people chose to go on this journey with me. And I will do what I can to teach them and help them on their journey. That's part of my assignment here. So, you know, I took the assignment, I chose the assignment, and so all I can do is just teach them and help them. And they're the ones who have to do it, you know? And so I protect myself and, you know, teach them how to protect themselves. But, you know, I totally know that they're in a lot of traps themselves that I have to, you know, help them through as well. So, you know, and if nothing else, by an example. So, you know, and be me, be the new me. So, and, you know, some storms do come to clear your path. And that's the thing is that when you want something new, you want something different, you truly have to give up the old stuff. You really do. The old, versions of yourself, even, the people and the places and the things. I mean, people want to hold on to things and people and things, but you have to let it go to change. It's like someone who goes to the bar and drinks every night. You end up with some friends there, right? And when you decide to quit drinking, you got to give up that place and you got to give up those people who are still in it, who aren't going to change, right? And that's just how life goes. And you have to um, learn those lessons. You have to choose yourself and truly that when you really look at energy and that like what's meant for me will find me and when it's time to let it go that those people and those places are put there for you for that time and maybe going to the bar every night and drinking served its purpose for that time for you, right? And, it's part of that thing. When it's time to let it go, gotta let it go and move forward, and new people and new things will come into play. And that's the journey of life that I have come to find. So, anyhow, we're going to go ahead and ask a few questions here. What does riding out the storm mean? To successfully survive or endure a difficult period, crisis, or challenging situation without being overcome or suffering serious harm. What does a storm mean spiritually? Symbolizes life's challenging trials, inner turmoil, or spiritual battles, presenting periods of testing, transformation, and growth, often seen as a divine tool to build faith, strengthen character, or rebuild one's path. What is the power of words and thoughts? An invitation to embrace the strength of our inner dialogue and the influence of our words, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and purpose-driven life. How can words influence others? Empower people and make them want to press on, or diminish them and make them want to quit. Why are thoughts so powerful? Can influence our mood and our actions. Why are words so powerful? Comes from the intentions behind them. Do thoughts have any power? Thinking is so powerful. So, my conclusion truly is taking back our power over our own lives and our own realities. First and foremost comes over taking power over our words and our thoughts and really working on that inner self, that inner world, the emotions that we have within us, like, why do I feel this way? Because it just might be that it is a negative, programming. And it is quite a journey to go through and to really change and make those transformations. And we can keep on going with the same stories, the same dialogues, the same programming, continue on with the same cycles, or we can choose to be the change and break the cycles, change our thinking, change ourselves, do that transformation. And truly, when I really looked at things, that religion taught me a lot about that, of making that transformation, because I did change. And so religion really showed me that if I could do it then, all I had to do was pour into myself and change the words, change the thinking, right? I mean, you go to church every Sunday and every Wednesday, you read your Bible every day. But, truly, when I came in to just pour into myself, and I will tell you that I was put in the right places to do such a thing and to really ultimately come to serve this purpose for whoever it may be, If it's just one person, it's just that one person. And, it's just a ripple effect. And not only that, I have an effect on people who I cross paths with in my own life, you know? And so, building people up, encouraging them, right? Encouraging them even with my own story and my own lessons, that if I can do it, you can do it too. You can become aware and, stop your complaining. You can become aware and change your thinking, change the things that you're talking about and make these changes. And so, and it just takes these little changes and you'll see it come out in your life. And I see it. It's very interesting when you go down the conspiracy theory road and stuff, which was definitely a part of a process of waking up, right? That when you're in those mindsets and there are people that there were people in my life that were still stuck in the old mindsets. And see, that comes to the point of letting people go, right? I hadn't let some people go that were still in those old belief systems and thinking, right? So now I'm looking at these conspiracy theories, and what you end up with is you come across people who are aware of that stuff, right? And now, like, I've come to this point that is like, hey, I'm a generational curse breaker. And like, people are on that same kind of wavelength with you. So as you change, the people around you and the people that come across your path will change as well. I can talk to people um, about um, you know, higher minded things and vibrations and stuff. And I will say that I just have a way that I can just talk to people in a certain way, and that a lot of times they can accept it in a reasonable way. And that, maybe is a gift that I have. But I've just come to learn to to be able to just talk to people. And I really do let go of the world. So I don't talk politics or any of that stuff. And all these different things that really divide us, that I've really come to take this, that I'm number one, a soul first, right? And everybody has a soul first, and everything after that is just secondary. It's just an identity that they have claimed to, or whatever it may be. And so, not letting things, as much as I can, divide me from people. And so, Maybe there's some things I have to work on a little bit, and maybe some things that I've put on myself that I have to work on. But, you know, just truly just becoming more and more aware. All the answers that we have are within us. So as we inner reflect and just start taking that accountability and responsibility for our own life, our own thinking, our own words, ourselves, that things will change. They change individually, and it has a ripple effect to change collectively. And as you change, your world will change. And, one of the rules of the game is that the world is that what you think it is, it is. So if you think things are terrible and horrible and everything's against you, guess what it is? And when you go down that road of everything's against us and everything's against me and everything, that's what you get, And it just gets worse and worse, right? I mean everything, right? And it truly is a process to be like, everything's for me. Everything is for my highest good. This is for my journey here, my experience here, and letting go of some of those negative beliefs, that, everything is against us kind of ordeal. And so our words are so powerful. And truly, we are the placebo. We're the placebo. And it's amazing when you look into that stuff. I did a TikTok on the placebo book that I read by Joe Dispenza, in which, they test people for a drug, a trial drug. Some get the actual drug, some get the placebo. And some of those people that are on the placebo, they will swear they're actually getting the real drug because they have these side effects from the drug that's listed as side effects, right? And they'll have them. And just other things, just like when people are, people will flip flop, they'll be taking the placebo even, and then it's like, oh, this drug is bad, and they'll see some report that it's bad, right? And they'll be doing like really good. They'll like they're taking it maybe to help them with a health condition, and they're getting better, they're feeling better, even though it's a placebo or even the real drug. But anyhow, then they'll see this report is so bad, then they'll flop, you know, that is bad and it's not working for them, and they'll flop, and then they'll even get another thing like, oh no, it's good, and they'll flop back. And even like hexes, guy was in the hospital and the doctor couldn't figure out what was going on and stuff. And then he found out through the family that there was a hex put on him, and he thought he was dying. And so the doctor came up with some little story and had him had the family do some little stuff to take this hex off, and the guy got better. And so that's what I have learned in my journey, is that we are the placebos. What we think is what we get, really. And when you really come at that level to think of it, you know, that, people will see things in all kinds of different ways. And whatever limitations they've put on themselves, that's what they have. They have it upon themselves. And so, though, what can I say? What can I say? Words and thoughts are so powerful, and they do control the reality that we have. And so if you think things are against you, you're going to get more stuff against you. But when you change and you think things are for you, you're going to get more things that are for you. And that's how much the energy of God, Source, Spirit loves us. You know, you want pain and suffering? Guess what? You get pain and suffering. You want happiness and fulfillment? Guess what? You can have happiness and fulfillment. And so, you know, you can feel sorry for the ones that don't know any better and so are so stuck in limited beliefs, but ultimately it's them. It is them. And you can drag a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. And that's the truth. And so, and maybe letting go of all their bullshit, they're going to have to ride out a storm of their life. I survived it. I survived. I come out thriving. I come out where I see the abundance of my life. I come out to see that I've always been taken care of. Sometimes it's just those little tiny, tiny things that I did. And that's how I know that the Spirit is within me, in fact. It's very funny because when I went into the hospital here in South Carolina, okay, I came here and I was only here for one night, and then I end up in the middle of the night going to the hospital. Medication was running. It was just something I had to go through. Okay. It just is something that played out in the physical, really, right? So, but it was very interesting because I had gone to the store when we had gotten here and stuff to get a couple of things, and I had pulled out $20. Now, and then I ended up in the hospital. Okay, so when I get out of the hospital, I get my stuff back. I have my $20. But through unnecessary to even mention means is just something that played out, something that shows me something. That the money that I had left in my account was no longer there. It was no longer there. But I had that $20 so I could eat that day when I got out. And so that really just came to show me that I've always been taken care of. Always. Maybe not to the extent that I desired for, but I've always been taken care of. I've always had enough, and things truly do work for my highest good. And maybe there's some learning lessons that I had to learn that I was just unaware of, that I had to learn the hard way. And so, that's the path that, ultimately I chose to take. Life is so hard. Life's easy if we make it easy, and life can be fun if we make it fun. And we have the power to change the game in our favor by our words, by our thoughts, and by our emotions. So we're going to see how this plays out, because it only gets better from here, because it will never be the same. I changed too much. I worked on me too much, and I utilized that time while I was alone to truly pour into myself. So anyhow, that's what I'm going to say on that. But really, life is a dream. Life is a dream that we are co-creating with Spirit. And, we can let others, other people, other places, or other things rule over us. Or we can take our power back from that ego mind that wants to, try to control things, try to, tell us that, whatever it is. and start taking that rulership over ourselves, ownership over ourselves, because we are the manifestors. We are the ones who are co-creating our realities, our experiences with universe. And when you're in the Babylonian system, which is everybody's shadows, everyone who's in that system, it's all their shadows, all the people doing drugs, all the religious people in it, all the sinners, or whatever, all the people who are in that system. It's a collective consciousness that plays out. And that's the Babylonian system. So, free ourselves, straight and narrow road, get out of the world becomes a whole new meaning, when it gets too crazy. And as you let all that BS go, maybe you're going to have to write out some bullshit in your life, but you're going to free yourself from that mess. And as you let go, guess what it does? Manifest. And you get yourself out of it. Ha ha. Power play right there. And the ones who want to stay in it, it'll get more chaotic, more crazy for them. But truly, I came here to burn that bullshit down, to burn that ego-minded kingdom down. And so, we run this game, and, what is it that you're willing to give up to create that kingdom of heaven on earth? And that kingdom starts with you, within. So I'm grateful for all the things that I have learned and all the things that I have overcome and gotten through. And I'm grateful for letting go, just letting it go. And that is a learning lesson right there of just letting it go and moving forward. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for anyone who is listening and learning and growing and healing from me, like truly, healing. And if you want help with that healing, you want help to, figure out what moves that you need to make in your game of life, what you can do, what you can work on, or whatever, you can reach out to me. My email and my links will be in the bio. And so enjoy life. Whatever life you're living, because it's yours. And if you don't like it, flip the script and create a new story, a new beginning. New beginnings begin with you. And I'm in my new beginning, and I'm enjoying my life. And so it may not be perfect, but I'm truly living the life of my dreams. And I have to just learn that. And so I had to learn that. And so I'm enjoying my life and going with the flow of it. So enjoy yours, because it truly is yours. And so we're going to play this song called Ready, Set, which is a great song, very uplifting, motivating song, because we are overthrowing the comatose, and we came here to change this game and rig it in our own favor. So, love you.
Most people don't realize this, but we're not all living in the same reality. We're all walking this earth, but we're living in different dimensions. When you're in the lower dimensions, you believe in a God outside of you. You say things like, "Thank you, Jesus," and "Thank you, God," up there. And that's okay, because that's the level you're at. It's part of the journey. But when you go through a Kundalini awakening, when your spirit truly begins to rise, something shifts. You don't just believe in Christ, you become aware of the Christ within you. You stop thanking something outside of you, and you begin to awaken to the power that was always inside you. Christ consciousness isn't about religion. It's a frequency, a higher awareness. It's when you realize God lives in you. You see, people argue because they live in different dimensions, and they don't understand each other. Some still live in the 3D where everything is fear, control, separation. You're over here trying to speak light, truth, oneness, and they look at you like you're crazy. That's because you're not speaking the same language of consciousness. When you awaken, you rise. You begin to see the world through God's eyes, not man's. And that's why we say not everyone will get you. Not everyone is supposed to, because not everyone has risen yet. But your job is not to prove it, your job is to live it. Let your vibration speak louder than your voice. Thank you for following us at Awakening the Empaths, where truth is spoken without fear.
Overload. Time to go another level past overflow. We gon' do the most, overthrow the comatose, raise it up till the vibe reach Holy Ghost. Yeah, this a monolith in the making. All you heard was rumbling coming up from the basement. Ain't nothing erasing the legacy I'm creating. I just elevated the name, then I engraved it. Yeah, this a lift off energy. Got a date with destiny and she feeling my chemistry. Manifestation, dreams to delivery. Mind over matter, faith over disbelief. Here we go, if you with me let me know. Let's go, fired up and my level never low. Let's go, here we go, if you with me let me know. Let's go, ready set, let's go, ready set, let's go. Here we go, if you with me let me know. Let's go, fired up and my level never low. Let's go, here we go, yeah I feel incredible. Let's go, ready set, let's go, ready set, let's go. I know this the moment you've been waiting on. In the awakening, the main event to take you home. Anything they say impossible, we taking on. We gon' shift the energy, we gon' change the tone. I can feel a rise in the vibe, I'm a ride. You can see it in my eyes, I'm alive, I'm a ride. Inspiration radiating from inside, I'm on fire. Universe been trying to hit me on my line, I'm a ride. We taking off and ain't no counting down. About to run 100 laps around the speed of sound. I dug into my spirit and look at what I found. The element, the fuel, to lift off the ground. Here we go, if you with me, let me know. Let's go, fired up, and my level never low. Let's go, here we go, if you with me, let me know. Let's go, ready, set, let's go, ready, set, let's go. Here we go, if you with me, let me know. Let's go, fired up, and my level never low. Let's go, here we go, yeah I feel incredible. Let's go, ready, set, let's go, ready, set, let's go.
You ain't got a chance. Trying to go to war with the champ. Trying to go back, but you can't. Now it's only one king, I'm the man. Anybody wanna step to the plate? Better go and get one thing straight. I don't freeze and I won't hesitate. Matter of fact, y'all been running in place, can't run from your fate. Who's gonna stop me? 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 Yeah, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? So electrical, charged up, shocking every second like a billion volts. Now we hyperactive, you don't want no static. I was born for battle, finger on the pulse. Y'all paper plastic while I go Jurassic. So far from average, running with the raptors like a slay Goliath, steady moving silent. So in other words, I am the boss. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? I am the boss. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Yeah, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? I just look at the world, such a sight to behold. Most of the stories will never get told. Been on my own for so long, I don't know what else to do, pray I don't lose my soul. Walking through fire till I'm numb to the coals. Coming for everything, diamonds and gold. Nothing to lose, all in my control. And I'm about to go savage, so don't say I won't. And I'm destined for greatness. Ain't no fabrication, ain't no time for waiting. Super fundamental, I can see them hating. Ain't a scrimmage, steady winning. I ain't quitting from the start to finish. Been in motion, this is physics. Never slowing, never getting winded. I ain't quitting from the start to finish. And I gotta wonder, really fine slipping in. Who's gonna stop me? 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 Who's gonna stop me?